Welcome back, people. It is episode 46 of season 4 of the Taxi Squad podcast. We're recording this on Wednesday, the 13th. You'll be hearing this on Thursday, the 14th. We got a fair amount of strange and unusual topics to get into. People growing potatoes, Jerry Jones fighting the sun. We also have some NCAA conversations to get into about this electric closeout to the college football season. About 3 weeks left before the playoffs start. Buckle up. We got some NBA talk to get into that Mike goes into a lot of linguistic endeavors on. And then not only that, a potential fist fight is about to happen over the weekend, and NFL picks and Bears therapy session. It's the Taxi Squad podcast.
Come on, everybody, celebrate. The Taxi Squad is here today. So lose the blues, kick back and relax for now. They talk about sports and stupid stuff. They're probably wrong and it might get rough. So welcome back. It's the Taxi Squad. Yeah.
Vince. Happy Groundhog's Day. How you doing? How you doing, Cuzzy? How you doing?
Like, in my head, I was like, is it Groundhog's Day? And then I was
it's
like,
not Groundhog's Day. It feels like Groundhog's Day. It's almost every day is Groundhog's Day when you're a Bears fan. But it's not Groundhog's Day, but it's Groundhog's Day. So happy Groundhog's Day.
It very much is for us, dude. Outside of that, I'm doing all right.
That's good.
We're going to go through our current situation with our current football team.
Mm-hmm.
I did have the thought this weekend, which is a terrifying loser mentality thought.
Yeah.
That at least I got one team that wins a little bit.
Who?
Notre Dame, baby. That's the only team.
Oh, yeah. What's that like? Must be nice.
I still don't believe in
pain every week, ever.
Forever.
Just
throughout the entire
pain. Year. For the past 5 years, I just choose pain.
I know. You're especially in a bad spot because your football team in college is also not very good right now. So it is more.
Vince, they haven't been good. They haven't been good in like 7 years. It's not a thing. I mean, I get it. I'm not ignorant to it.
I know. And I'm not going to act like Notre Dame is anything to write home about either. I just sometimes it's nice to see a W get put on the board. You know.
Yeah. Well, we do know the Bears aren't going to do that. Right?
I have a quote that I've been sending a lot of people. For those of you that don't know, Shane Waldron was fired. We'll get to it later. But I quoted on Twitter, "Every day is hell. Today, the devil gave us a cookie." Is how I feel about that. All we did was just, get a cute little addition to something that's already horrible.
It definitely feels like the Titanic and Shane Waldron was pushed off the proverbial door.
Yeah. Before or after cheating on his significant other with a cute little working boy?
I don't know, but Eberflus was sitting there like, paint me like one of your French girls.
So Eberflus was hooking up with the working boy. I see.
Because hot guy, right? Hot guy, haircut, beard.
True.
That's about all he's got going for him at this stage of the game.
I thought that was going to change him.
No,
didn't change him.
Still shit flus are us, That's all we can. I mean, that's it. Just the oh god, we'll get into it.
It's like putting a bow tie on a turd. Shall we start with something a little more positive, just to make ourselves feel a little bit better?
Yeah, like how? But how was the weekend, Vince? I mean, we had your epic travel episode last weekend.
Yeah,
we can't get into the podcast without talking about the week that was. Right,
that's true. This week less happened than last week.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
I did a Huggies and Chuggies for my brother, watched some football this weekend, did some karaokeing, lost my voice nice and good on Saturday night.
Nice.
Outside of that, we got some stuff coming up here where we're going to be together again, which is going to be more exciting. But overall, pretty chill, pretty chalk. But yeah, outside of that, it was just the Bears started playing and then the weekend was ruined like we've had the last couple weeks. So that's just reality, baby. That's just how we live now.
What's more upsetting? The Bears losing to the Patriots on Sunday or if you're a Penguin watcher on HBO Max, or Max as they would call it.
Oh.
Spoilers!
What's worse?
Hey.
What's worse?
Spoil City, chill.
Dude!
I might
If
have
you
to.
haven't watched it to this stage of the game, it's amazing cinema, and that's on you.
It's been 3 days.
No kid. No kid. This drops on Thursday.
It dropped on Sunday, didn't it?
It dropped on Sunday, but it's going to be Thursday when people hear this. So at the end of the day, if you haven't listened by now, you earned it.
I might precautionarily bleep that out, just so you know. Because that's like waiting 3 days and being like, hey, no one knows what happened at the end of The Sopranos. He didn't actually end up dying. Like, you can't say that 3 days after the show ends.
Well, it's open-ended, because who's to say he's dead?
You can't be like, you should have
he
seen
could
it.
be dead.
What if
He
someone
could
was
be
just
dead.
on vacation for 4 days and then they haven't been able to watch it till Thursday night?
Then they didn't earn it. You didn't earn it, kid. You didn't earn it.
I'm going to preemptively bleep that out. Hopefully I remember that. But yeah, that was a sad scene. That was a sad, sad scene.
Is the Bears losing worse?
Yeah. Because that's real life.
Yeah, true,
and
true.
I
This
didn't
is
think
cinema.
about that scene happening. After that, for like 2 days, I've thought about, like, it's gotten to the point where instead of listening to people on talk radio like freak out about the Bears, we've seen this so many times that I've actively avoided that because I already know every take. And like, you guys already know every take that we're going to have. Like, I'm already waiting for you to bring up Tory Taylor so I can yell at you about that shit again. Like, I'm already ready for all this stuff, dude. I'm already
Leads
ready
the
for
league
it.
in punting yards, so at least he earned it. He earned
Yeah,
it, kid.
we're not
He
going to be
earned it.
punting much this year.
He earned it. He earned it.
Right, dude.
He earned it.
Positive stuff. The strange,
Potatoes?
strange and unusual potato gate. Yeah. Do you want to talk about this one since you sent it over to me?
Sure. So there is a potato tycoon in the NFL. Doesn't even need the NFL money. Paint this picture.
Okay.
But this kid's such a freak. He clearly ate his potatoes and his vegetables and drank his milk on Sundays. He plays offensive lineman for the fucking Saints. So Connor McGovern is the heir of the world's largest potato producer.
Hell
His
yeah.
grandfather is known as the Sultan of Spuds, not SWAT, and grew his company into the country's largest commercial potato producer and is the primary provider of one of the used Mickey D's French fries and is the richest family in North Dakota, worth more than $500 million. So it's impressive. Good
you
for
can
that
tell. You can tell that this guy did product testing for sure, because this guy's a unit. This man's a house.
He's huge.
That's a love for the game move, right? Like, plenty of times, like, people play sports and you hear this all the time. It's like, came from a bad environment, started playing sports, made a lot of money to get out of that, made it better for my family in the future. This lad, granted, you know, not the richest man in the world by any means, but $500 million for farming potatoes is crazy. And he is the heir to that throne after his grandfather and his father. It's like,
His grandfather is the John Dutton of potatoes.
who's John Dutton?
Yellowstone. You don't watch that show?
Oh,
well, it's just Kevin Costner talking like this the whole time.
nice. He's Kevin
all it
Costner
is.
is Batman in Yellowstone.
That's all it is. No, I'm not kidding. This is how he talks the whole time. It's just like, oh, I own that fucking land and mountains. And it's like, I mean, that's it.
Isn't it coming back?
I just told you how Yellowstone operates. There you go.
Isn't it coming back?
Yeah, it came back. I can't get into it. It's horse shit and gunpowder in modern
Got it.
ways. And
Red
make
Dead
a lot of
Redemption without
money
the
and-
controller. Yeah, I got you.
Kind of, I guess. All the women go crazy over this dude by the name of Rip.
Hamilton?
No,
Oh,
not Rip
I was
Hamilton.
like, dude, he had a wet J, and
he's
that face
like
mask
the-
didn't stop.
He's like the seedy badass guy who fights everybody, and he like rides a horse and wears a leather jacket and wears black aviators and has a black cowboy hat, and just fights people. If anybody's fighting, it's gonna be me. And then his girlfriend or wife is the daughter of John Dutton, who's the heiress of this fortune. And, she was like rich girl and he was like the farm hand, and he started to run, it's that whole thing.
Hallmark
So all
movie
the
type
women,
shit.
all the women get really hot and bothered by this guy who's just like a Hollywood plant who is also in Dazed and Confused. So movie podcast recommend that actor. I forget his name. I think it's Cole Hauser or some shit.
Okay.
Good actor though. Nonetheless, good actor to play that, even though he's a Hollywood kid.
Oh, this is a handsome man.
That's a good looking kid. Good looking kid.
Yeah, this is a hot guy. I was like, kid, I don't know about that. He's about 17 years older than you, but yeah, it's a hot guy.
Yeah. So all the women get real hot and bothered by this guy.
Okay.
And 9 times out of 10, that person really doesn't exist in humanity. But there you go.
What color are the stones?
What stones?
In the show. What color are they?
Allegedly yellow, but we'll have
Who would have known?
Allegedly the stones are yellow in the Yellowstone. Right? But to the point, this guy's dad is the John Dutton of the Yellowstone potato.
Well, his grandpa
empire
right now still,
yeah,
technically.
And Connor McGovern, I mean, when he's done, he gets to take over an empire of potatoes.
Yeah. He's doing side quests by going to the NFL because he's like, there's nothing else to do. He's like, I've had my fill of potatoes. I'll probably be able, like, the change of being like a North Dakota farmer boy to going to New Orleans to play football has to be alarming as hell. Him going to school and just being able to just move immediately and not have to wait for his first NFL check. Like, the man lived a pretty good life. This is a big boy. This is a man that ate his potatoes, ate his meat, and shout out to him, man. Good for him. He didn't
I just
have
want to know where. Did he go to North Dakota? No, he went to Penn State. Look at that. Yeah.
So you're going North Dakota, Happy Valley, New Orleans. What a difference in cultures everywhere.
Yeah, and it goes to Penn State 2016 and 2018. Been in the league for almost 5 years now.
Saquon Barkley teammate, huh?
Yeah, who'd have thunk it? Not I.
Who would have thunk? We got another one, too. We got another strange.
It. What's that strange?
I don't know if I'd call this even strange because we've known this was the case. Jerry Jones, in the infinite war to defeat the sun, he loses yet again. Jerry Jones loses the battle versus the sun. Do you remember when AT&T Stadium was being built?
Yeah.
And it was a big deal, and it was massive, and everybody's freaking out, and they're like, Jerry's World. It's like Dolly's World, but for Jerry, or Dollywood for Jerry.
He knows guys' shot sizes before he signs them.
That's true. We did talk about that as well. Glaring foresight with where the sun sets during football games.
Did you say glaring foreskin?
No.
Oh, foresight. My bad. Continue.
Get your head off a penis, bud. We're talking sunshine right now. I might have said foresight. I don't know what I said.
Okay. Okay. Same guy, though. He's also been in Strange and Unusual Topics this year, so you got to bring it up.
Jerry Jones?
Yep.
He was also getting mad at black kids for going to school, so I don't know how to feel about this guy. Remember all that?
He was?
Oh, no. Yeah. There's a lot of, like, historical pictures of, you've seen it in movies and stuff like that, but, like, when the kid goes to school for the first time and all the white people are yelling at them and they're like, get out of our schools, blah, 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 all that bullshit, in the 60s. There's a picture of Jerry Jones as a teen, as an onlooker on the white side. So, not a great look for Jer. Not a great look for
irony
Jer,
in that is hysterical to me.
It is.
Right? The irony is priceless.
Either way, he may have changed. Maybe he was just there to be an innocent bystander. No one really knows. He wasn't yelling in the picture. He was just looking. So I am not going to say that Jerry Jones is an evil racist man. I'm not going to say that he's not. But I'm not going to say that he is. Jerry Jones, though.
Nor will deny. Continue.
I will tell you that the Sun is anti-Jerry because they built a stadium and they could have put it any direction. But for some reason, the sun glares right through the windows in the middle of the season every single year, all of the time. And they have to make strategic decisions at AT&T Stadium for where they want to get the ball as the Dallas Cowboys so the sun doesn't glare into the end zone when they're throwing the ball. They didn't do that this week, Mike. And CeeDee Lamb, with an easy open touchdown catch, lost the ball in the sun like he was a baseball player at noon. It's crazy. Just what are we doing here? It's unbelievable. And then he gets on radio and he was just like, We know the decisions we have to make. We have to make roster decisions based on where the sun's going to be when we're playing football. And he does a radio hit every single week, and he was getting mad at the sun. Like, he was pissed at the sun. It's like, it hasn't changed in hundreds of millions of years, Chair.
That damn sun, I tell you, every week it gets in the eyes of CD.
It
and
always
I don't
does the
know
same
who
thing.
I have to sign in order to make sure that sun doesn't glare through at 3:10 p.m. on a fucking Sunday, buddy. But best believe I'm after that sun. You ever heard of cloud farming? I'm getting in there, buddy.
Honestly, you probably can afford it. All of the receivers on the Dallas Cowboys need to start wearing those like Oakley smoke visors.
Well, he had them. He had it on.
And
See,
still
he
didn't
had
work.
it on.
That's a damn good
Still
point.
don't work. My whole thing is, why don't you put up these amazing things called fucking curtains?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
that's what CeeDee
boom.
Lamb said.
Just put up curtains. They're windows.
They're gonna have to get those special made because those windows are huge.
Yeah, just go get some. You got enough money? Just go get some commercial grade curtains. Hey, boom.
Just the
sun setting. And by the way, though, can we talk about the Dallas Cowboys? This team, I thought the Bears are bad. They're right there with us. But my thought process is,
don't throw stones in glass houses, Mike.
I know, but the sun is going to be in your end zone at specific times.
I don't know why it was there. It's only been doing that every day forever.
You can't always win the toss, and I get that. But you could still kind of, hey, if you do win the toss, you know where to start and finish. Pause. But I'm just saying, like, I don't get this team. But Jerry Jones fighting the sun is fucking hilarious.
Man versus sun. Sun wins again. Sun undefeated.
Sun's undefeated.
We're about 100 million to 0. Sun is just demanding lead. The one day
undefeated.
The one day that man beats the sun is going to be probably catastrophic.
Vince, I'm not too sure you're thinking about this because there could be a son out there by the name of Dicka. And that son could potentially take on the Earth's sun and beat it to the next point. So, Dicka, son, Dicka's one. Sun.
Dicka's
0.
one. Dicka beats the sun. That's it. I was gonna say you've had a couple battles with the sun since you moved to Arizona, and I don't think you've won that many times either.
Dude, no, I haven't. My skin's going haywire. But what are you gonna
it's not even that. I'm just talking SPF, dude.
Hey. At the end of the day, I thought I could get away without putting SPF on, living this close near the sun. I got a fun little awakening.
Yeah.
All right.
That's how that shit goes.
I live and I learn.
And
we're getting into it's supposed to rain this weekend. So there you go.
In the desert. Aren't you going to get like sand? Doesn't the rain fall and it just slides down the sand?
No.
Oh, okay. Hey, it's worth a shot. Worth the question.
It's just rain.
Football?
It's a shot, Mike. It's a shot. Yeah, let's talk about some college football, Vince. What do you say, eh?
How about it? Soak Fest.
Oh, man.
Proceed.
Okay. So, for those of you who don't know, BYU played Utah. All right. They played the Utes in the Utes' homeland. Place was loud, rocking.
The battle of the Latter-day Saints, some would say. Go on.
The battle of the Latter-day Saints, the battle of Mormons, the battle of Utah was hung up in the balance on Saturday evening. Late night football. I watched football for the first time until midnight in a long, long time. Thank God for time changes. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, it rocks.
And I stayed up and I watched football till midnight. I loved it. And this game went down to the balance. BYU, huge last-minute drive starting on their own 5, driving 90 or it was 60-plus yards to kick a field goal. Truly insane. No timeouts left. Just absolute electricity. And they stay undefeated, which is truly impressive in the Big 12 right now because the Big 12 is a pretty difficult conference. And not only on top of that, I mean, man, it was just a great game to watch. What?
I like what you're saying conceptually.
Okay.
they haven't played much of anybody this year. I mean, granted, they beat SMU by 3 in September, beginning of the season. Greatest. Kansas State has shown that they've had issues. I muted myself on accident there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a whoopsie daisy on my end. Utah's not good, man. They're better the last couple weeks, but they're not good, and that was far too close for an undefeated team to be that way. They just feel like they might be a little bit of a pretender team. A little bit.
I just really dislike Utah because of Cam Rising. And it's nothing against Cam Rising.
Well, he didn't even
he's
play.
Probably a good dude. I know, but he ruined USC for like 3 years straight.
Yeah.
And he's been playing football since 2010. So somehow
you could argue that's the defense, though. You can argue that was the defense.
Yeah, and Dalton Kincaid at the time. Dalton Kincaid was a world beater and still is at the next level. I will say that if you really look at this, though, BYU I still think is going to beat Colorado. That's my opinion. And they did. So
I feel the same way. I don't feel like Colorado's that good, but I do think they have the Heisman winner. I just think they're going to get to a playoff and have a really hard time with any other fucking team in the nation.
They play great defense, man. They play great defense, and they have a pretty solid offensive unit there. They got some good talent, and they play strong defense. They bend, they don't break. I think they're going to potentially be a team out of the Big 12. They're going to win the Big 12 in their first year in the Big 12.
They also only gave up points in the second quarter. So whatever that means, second half adjustments, whatever you want to call it, it did work out well for them, but can't do that, BYU. I know they won it, but that was a little luck fest because Utah's been worse than they've been in a while here.
I just want to know, like, what do they do after the game? Are they just like, give me all the Welch's grape and then
I heard they do like Dr. Pepper and they put like cream in it and stuff and sugar and stuff. And they have like I think it was literally called like a soda pop shop or something like that.
Yeah,
like
there's
some fucking Candyland like bullshit. It's like, I'll meet you at the soda pop shop. Like that kind of stuff.
Well, there is a full-blown soda company out here. Like, it's like a store. It's like a standalone store, and they have a drive-through. And the only thing they sell is drinks. And it was started by a Mormon family out of Utah.
That kind of rocks.
That's all they sell is like mixed suds. That's it.
What they put like carbonated, and then they put like different concoctions in there. To
mix it's like a soda pop shop.
That rocks.
And you could that's all they sell. They don't sell food. They don't sell anything.
No, that's cool though. You just go there, you get like a little like cherry limeade and be on your way.
Fun fact, the second largest population of Mormons in the U.S. next to Utah is Arizona.
I get that because close.
Fun fact. Very close.
Yeah.
And no silly taxes and silly guidelines. It's kind of like, Utah, but if it was cool, right?
I don't know. Utah's beautiful. I was going to say.
It's beautiful.
A gorgeous
that
place.
That doesn't make it cool. I saw some solid Jazz when I was in Utah. But this game was truly great. They soaked it up. No pun intended. And
it has to be a pun. What does it even mean that they soaked it up if it wasn't about that?
No movement after. They just put it in.
Stand up, soak it in. From one surprising win to a surprising loss, some may say.
Oh man.
You've been shouting from the mountaintops. Georgia, number 1 in the country. This is Georgia's to lose. Georgia's going to win it all. Are you as confident this year after this loss to Ole Miss?
I think this is a shitty loss. They were in a really
bad.
Well, they fumbled the ball a lot, so that doesn't help anything.
They scored 10 points against Ole Miss, Mike.
I know.
Bad.
Ole Miss has a really solid front five.
Yeah.
They got Sunday guys on that front five. No doubt about it. And hey, Georgia's defense did not look like Georgia's defense, and when you bring it all together, it just didn't work. And Carson Beck is really not that great of a quarterback.
He isn't that good.
He's throwing interceptions. He did not look. He had a lot of opportunity. I watched the majority of the second half, and I just was kind of beside myself. Like, okay. I was like, here we go. Georgia's going to come back because they looked like they had momentum coming out of the half. And no.
This was
And
one of
then-
those games where I was at a party, so I was like looking at it, and then I'd walk back and be like, Georgia's going to score like 2 touchdowns in the next like 5 minutes. And then I came back, I'm like, they still haven't done that. And then I get to the fourth quarter, I'm like, when are they going to score? Like they got 3 points in the third quarter. So I watched the whole first quarter, and it was 10-7. And I was like, this is weird. Clearly Georgia's going to win it. And I kept coming back, and the only time I saw the score change was one time when they scored 3 more points. I'm like, oh my fucking God, it's over, dude. Like, Ole Miss is going to do this. Lane Kiffin's got to be jacked up.
This is by far their biggest win in 5 years.
Easy.
Yeah. Since Lane's been there, this may be one of their biggest wins. There's not a doubt in my mind.
Jackson Dart, you freaking speed demon, too. He's so fast.
Jackson Dart basically said we need to win out. After they lost against LSU, we need to win out. And
well, he's right, and they got a better
winning out.
They got a better record than Georgia right now.
Yeah.
And their strength of schedule isn't that different.
Georgia really needs to put the boots to the ground on Saturday against a pretty tough Tennessee team. Granted, young quarterback, but they need to go back to Georgia, hit the reset button, and smoke them.
Tennessee's got a defense, though, and if Georgia has these offensive problems, I know, but Georgia's not Georgia, Mike. Yeah. Georgia wasn't Georgia this week. They're not Georgia. They aren't what they were.
What I don't understand is how they were winning natties with, what was his name? He was like the All-American boy back there.
Which one?
He wasn't anything
Stetson
impressive.
Bennett?
Stetson Bennett, the guy before him.
But he commanded the offense, like they had Jordan Davis up there. Like they had the whole Eagles defense.
Pretty much the entire Eagles defense. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I haven't been able to buy into Georgia 100% this year, and I still feel that way. There's something about them where I'm like, they're going to drop something on something dumb or like just not be able to play when they need to. I'm worried about them in a high stress situation.
I still think they're one of the top 5 teams in the country, but I digress. They had a bad game. I mean, they had a really bad game. I mean, you look at what they did to Texas. So
you want to talk top 5? I raise you in Indiana Hoosiers, Mike.
They're human.
They're top 5.
I know, but they're human. They're human.
Yeah, but
they're human.
You could say the same thing.
They almost gave it away now.
You could say the same thing about this undefeated team that you did about BYU, though. BYU undefeated wins a game against the 4-5 team. Indiana beats Michigan by 5, regardless of the outcome at the end. Like, they couldn't score. Clearly couldn't score at the end of the game there. I thought they were going to lose it, but they're still undefeated in the Big Ten. And Michigan is not a very good team, but it's kind of the same thing. Like, I don't think Indiana's winning a national champion this year. Don't get me wrong, but like, they're a team, bud.
Hey, I love Signetti. All right, so don't you dare talk about Kurt that way. But I agree. I think they're going to play somebody big, and I think they'll make the playoff.
They have to at this point.
They have to.
How many? There's 3 games left?
They gotta make it. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We got November, and then it really gets really quiet, and then December comes, and then before you know it, boom, we're right back in that cycle of here are the playoffs, and the playoffs are going to go longer this year, which I'm very grateful for.
That's going to be fun. I'm very excited about that. Michigan, find a quarterback. It's so annoying and horrible to watch. They're really on a down year, but can't apologize to win. Miami.
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 Miami just could not put it all together. Georgia Tech, what a sneaky young team. You got to love it. This is the joy of college football. You never know what's going to happen.
It's weird that you can't win an entire game on one man's shoulders. He can't carry you to not 10-0 by himself. Crazy.
Who?
It's Cam Ward and Restrepo, I guess, too. You want to put Restrepo on that. Georgia Tech is a scary team. Shout out Sean. He told me that Georgia Tech was a really scary team. And he was right, just not against Notre Dame, against Miami instead. Cam Ward, unfortunately, has an amazing game. Doesn't give the ball up. And loses some of his Heisman cred just because they lost this game. That sucks.
Georgia Tech had a plan, and the plan clearly worked.
Yeah.
Defensively, Miami needs to be far better.
They're so bad. They're USC last year.
Kinda.
They can't tackle.
They're a sieve. They can't tackle.
Yeah.
I don't know what Mario Cristobal's got going over there, but it doesn't look right. He's supposed to be the Miami savior, and it's just not working.
At least he's got a game clock or what do you call it? Game clock.
How do you
coach or whatever that is?
I want that job. Game clock coordinator.
Yeah.
What do you do? I tell him when to take timeouts.
Yeah, because he didn't do that last year. Georgia
I tell him
Tech
when the need of football.
Georgia Tech wins or scores 28 points on 16 attempts from the quarterbacks. They went 11 for 16. And they scored 28 points. That was just rush on them every time. Haynes King, Jamal Haynes. Everybody was running. That's really all they had to do, and they just had to stop them.
Georgia Tech, you got to give it to them. They don't necessarily win pretty, but they win.
Yeah,
they came
works,
out
man.
and just basically buried Florida State game 1 this year.
Well, and they also don't let Miami to do anything flashy. They don't let them get up there, pick six them. They don't let them do any of that stuff. It's just very nose to the ground, taking care of business. Did you hear Gus Johnson this weekend?
Gus Johnson.
What, they nerfed him.
Why?
Dude, there was a stupid score in one game that he was calling that was the ball goes into the backfield. The guy runs up and grabs it, scoops it, and scores it. And he's and he picks it up and touchdown. I was like, what the fuck? What just happened? Gus Johnson's usually screaming.
That's Gus Johnson.
And there was Big Noon kickoff stuff. And I think after tendon game, because he was freaking out the whole entire game. Tendon remember, Penn State.
Tendon Vince.
This week, dude, 4 different times. Passing touchdowns. And passing to the end zone, touchdown. And I'm like, what's going on with Gus Johnson?
Is he sick? Is he a little upset?
I think people were getting mad at him for overreacting. That now
that's his thing, though.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
His shit.
That's my take on it. But for some reason, he just maybe he wasn't on or something like that. But I'm I need Gus Johnson screaming at me for an inconsequential 2-yard run. I need that from this guy.
And he's got that little stash now.
Yeah.
Stash. Maybe it's the stash.
Maybe.
He's
baby, it's just a quick little 7-yard touchdown. That's all that is.
He caught that.
Scoop, score, touchdown.
Scooped it. No, I don't understand why you're gonna try and dumb down one of the best in the biz.
Don't nerf my boy.
The best Madden years ever is when Gus Johnson was on the call.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't nerf my boy.
You would attempt to go deep. You'd be like, he's going deep.
And it's just a brutal throw. It's just a horrific throw. Just, yeah. But we need that in our life.
Isn't very good. We do. We need it back. He needs to be on one of the calls. He needs to be on one of the calls for the next NCAA game. If he's not one of the teams, because Jesse Palmer's getting long in the tooth.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
Yep.
Only thing Jesse Palmer brought to the table is that he's good looking. That's it.
And his brother was really good at quarterback. Should we talk about OU? Do you want to? Or are they even the team we're talking about, Mike? Because fuck, they're bad.
The fact that they almost
Nate,
beat a
but
ranked
your team sucks butts, dude.
Okay. Talking about the fact that they were winning by a touchdown with 2 minutes left in the game, and then Jackson Arnold somehow fumbles the football for a scoop and score, and then Mizzou gets the ball back, and then right after this, and then they score again and the game's over. And it all happened in 3 minutes.
Who was throwing the ball for Mizzou this today, Mike, in this game?
I have no idea.
Does a man by the name of Drew Pine ring a bell?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. I've seen Drew Pine play a lot of football in my life. And I'll tell you, first off, this guy stinks at quarterback. He's not very good. This is also a Mizzou team that you've been talking about all year, saying hey, they're not very good. And
they're not.
I wanted to believe in them, but I don't think they're very good either. I think they're a little overrated right now, even at 7-2. I didn't watch most of this game, honestly, because
I just watched the last 5 minutes, and it was just electric to see OU just completely shit down their leg the way
Jackson
they did.
Arnold's bad, dude.
And he was a 5-star recruit. I don't get it.
He also sounds like a Southern general in the Civil War, and I can't get that out of my head. General Jackson Arnold.
General Jackson Arnold, at the first sign of a discrepancy, shits down his leg.
He's Robert E. Lee's first commander is all I get out of Jackson Arnold.
Hey, at least they took the South back, buddy.
Did they?
No, they lost it.
No, they lost that. Yeah, they lost that.
They lost it. And then they were totally okay after.
And everything went back to normal, and everything was great and cute and awesome.
And everything was fine. And then Alabama realized they could recruit African-American kids, and then boom, slavery ended. Done.
Yeah. And that is revisionist history, folks. There's a man named Brian Kelly that I want to talk to you about.
Crying Brian.
Part of me wants to have a little soliloquy.
We're here again and talk about
the
same things.
I like to have a conversation about family. I like to have a conversation about a man from Connecticut and his family that he's got.
Him and his family.
A tale as old as time. Some would call this a Beauty and the Beast remake. Is the LSU Tigers with Crying Brian at the helm losing a big game? And not losing a big game, Mike, but a game that people were preparing to go watch. LSU. Nighttime, Saturday in November against Bama. We're in Baton Rouge, baby. Get the shit going. Massive, massive, massive home field advantage.
Do you want to know the name of their tiger?
That's what they did to the bad.
Do you want to know the name of their tiger?
What?
Guess his name.
I saw this earlier and I forgot it, unfortunately.
Guess his name, Vince.
Isn't it like Oslo or something?
Are you kidding me?
I forgot.
No.
What?
Dickhead, it's not Oslo, it's Mike. His name is Mike the Tiger.
Oh, I think I saw something else online then today.
Oslo. Where the fuck do you pull that out of your ass?
Why are they calling
Oslo the Tiger? If his name was Oslo the Tiger.
Oslo's from something, isn't it?
He would sound like some Harry Potter character that nobody liked.
Duh. Oslo's the capital of Norway. My apologies.
My bad. Those two things have
What's up with these Italian tigers, huh? Can we talk about that?
Oh,
you got fucking Tony over there. You got Tony over there. You got Mikey over there. They're great. How you doing?
Hey, two of the most famous tigers in the world, Tony and Mikey. What the fuck you trying to do?
What the hell are we doing? Brian Kelly can't run a team in a important game. We've seen it year over year over year. I can tell you with experience that that's the case. Jalen Milrow's a running back, and it worked out fine.
Yeah, Jalen Milrow went off, King.
He's a running back with a cannon. That's what he is.
He's very Tebow-esque, where it's just like, fuck it, I'm either going to run it or clock it 80 yards. Just why not?
And LSU couldn't do shit. Couldn't play defense.
Is Bama back? Okay. Is Bama back in the? Oh, but come on, Vince.
I think they're going to go to the playoff. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a run. I'm not very confident in them. I feel like this is more so an LSU team that's been up and down all year. They're now 6-3, and Brian Kelly's not good. I mean, even last year they had a Heisman winning quarterback, and anytime a big game came, it was just shatter, 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 fall. Like. They don't win. They don't win when it's big time.
They can't. And I mean, Brian, from the time of even Notre Dame, he's never been able to pull off a big win.
He did really well and got to the playoff with Cincinnati. And since then, people were like, he's a next level coach. And then he comes to Notre Dame. We know their playoff history. Not very good. You get to the playoff and then you just get subsequently sat on and pooped on when they're there. LSU's no different. I like LSU. They're fun to root for. It's hard to root for them because Brian Kelly's the worst, and I've hated him forever. But yeah, he's like an all-time bad guy. Just leaves. He left Cincinnati before that run, if you remember that. He leaves Notre Dame before their run and goes to LSU and then expects something to work out better. I think Garrett Nussmeier is good. I don't think that he is good under this offense. And they can't run the ball. And if you can't run the ball, you're kind of screwed. Alabama still is.
Garrett Nussmeier is very I don't know. I get very weird, just like another one who just doesn't fit the bill. He doesn't look to be a top recruit. It's very Josh Rosen to me. It's like fool's gold. He's not very good.
I mean, shit, Josh Rosen's a top 10 draft pick in the NFL.
I know, but Nussmeier maybe next year, considering next year there's really nobody but Arch.
Is he out this year or next year?
Who? Nussmeier?
Garrett Nussmeier, yeah.
Next year, he's a junior.
Yeah, so he can do his senior year and then go. Yeah.
Well, he'd be wise to, because this year it's going to be all Shador. And Shador's going to the league, and I wouldn't be surprised if Cowboys
Okay,
being
that's a
as
good
shitty
point.
as they are.
You made a statement this weekend.
What's that?
You made a statement that Cam Ward isn't a first-round draft pick.
He's not.
That's stupid. He's going to be top 10 this year. I promise you he will be.
Okay.
I don't know where you get.
I don't think he's the best. I think Quinn Ewers is going to be better than him. I do believe that Quinn Ewers will go higher than Cam Ward.
That almost doesn't matter, but you said that he's not getting drafted in the first round, which I find impossible.
He's very Lamar Jackson to me. And you saw what happened to Lamar Jackson.
I know, but that was before there was a Lamar Jackson.
Mike Vick existed, so.
Yeah. Fucking, 15 years beforehand? Lamar Jackson.
And after that, you had Terrell Pryor, and you had,
Cam Ward's a better talent than Terrell Pryor was. Terrell Pryor was coming into the draft, and they were making him a wide receiver.
It's a hit or miss with these running quarterbacks. I think Shador overall is the best arm talent and overall quarterback.
He'll probably get drafted second or third, I would say.
I think the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are just going to try and lose out. You don't have any option but to, and try and get that first pick, and you take Shador, and then boom.
There you go. I was just flabbergasted by that take this weekend. Flabbergasted. He's the best quarterback. He's the best quarterback in college this year, bar none. Easy.
I've watched him play. He's very good. I don't disagree. He's just not.
You think Shador's better than him, truly?
Yes, he's a better NFL quarterback than him.
He hasn't been playing better than him this year.
Doesn't matter. He doesn't have the pieces around him either. I think Cam Ward's very good. I'm not saying he's not a top 5
receiver in the NCAA this year.
Okay, but then an offensive line and the rest of it. I mean, it's all relative. So
yeah,
I get what you're getting at, and I'm not saying Cam Ward's a bad quarterback. He's not. He's a very good quarterback. But do I think there's a better option? I don't think he goes first round.
Teams overreact regardless. I don't even know if it'd be an overreaction to draft him.
I mean, we could put a gentleman's bet on it. I'm down for that. You want to trying to do $1? You trying to do a cold one?
Trying to do $1? You trying to do $2?
Trying to do a beef sandwich? What are you trying to do right now?
Yeah, how about I'll give you 2 beef steaks if Cam Ward isn't in the first round.
Oh, yeah. How about a pizza? Bet. We'll do a pizza from Michael's.
I like that.
That's a bet. That's a bet on draft night. There you go.
Done. Easy. Good to go.
Done.
Run it, kid.
It's decided. Run it. Okay. Well,
this isn't included on our list here, but Florida State's really bad.
Go figure.
They're really bad. And I haven't watched them much this year because I knew they were bad. And then Notre Dame proceeded to put a 52-piece on them, and they scored 3, which brings me to this conversation. Shador Sanders is going to the NFL. This has been floated around a bunch, and I don't think we've talked about it a lot this year. Deion Sanders probably is not going to stay at Colorado next year, is he?
I think there's a potential option depending he leaves, but I do
think
there's
more money.
Well,
elsewhere,
there's more to this. The top recruit, the 5-star recruit coming out of high school, is deliberating right now between USC and Colorado.
Yeah,
and a lot of that, I believe, has to do with Prime.
I'm sure.
So, you look at what they're putting together. You look at, what Colorado's doing. Do I think the kid would be wiser to go to USC? Probably. You'll probably get a far better quarterback-friendly offense. And not only that, somebody who knows quarterbacks in Lincoln. I do believe, though, that there's an option there that if he gets the top quarterback recruit in the country, he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, but you can also transfer in a year. If Florida State opens up and he has no more tie to Colorado because Travis and Shador are gone, obviously people are talking about like if the Dallas Cowboys job opens up, he's going to go to Dallas. I don't think so. I don't think he would transfer well into the NFL at this point, but stranger things have happened. I don't see why he wouldn't go to an ACC school, why he wouldn't want to coach at Florida State where he went. Like, it almost makes too much sense to me.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if in the most Jerry Jones way he goes and tries and get Prime.
That would be so dumb.
It would be the most Dallas Cowboys thing ever.
Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, and Deion Sanders trying to get along in a Dallas Cowboys NFL locker room. Okay.
In a weird way, there may be no better person but to relate to the players than a former player and a guy who knows what they're doing and played at the highest level. There's a lot that could be argued to say on the inverse of that. It could be a good thing.
Name a more opposite person than Mike McCarthy than Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders.
Yeah. Notre Dame 8-1. Keep it going, baby. I love them. All right.
This just want to puff his chest. All right. So we got some big matchups.
No, I didn't. I wanted to talk about Deion Sanders leaving.
Little bit of a cock tug,
Mike,
but
just because we talk about every other team, and you don't want to talk about a top 10 team in the country.
This isn't on the list, but I got to jerk off for 2 seconds. So give me a minute.
Because I didn't add it, Mike. They're a top 10 team in the country. Do we not talk about the majority of the top 10 teams?
This always happens.
Did we?
Okay.
We talk about top 10 teams. We talked about Oklahoma.
Can't wait. I can't wait for that.
Why do we talk about Oklahoma?
I cannot wait.
I don't know why you're such a hater, dude. I rode with you.
I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater.
Clearly you are. You don't even want to talk.
Worst team in football in Florida State. Yeah, let's talk about
Worst team in football. Okay. You ever see Kent State play football? All right. This week's
worse than the ACC, cuzzy.
This week's matchups. I'm looking forward to Virginia Notre Dame. I'm just kidding. Okay, so what games are you looking forward to this week?
Well, first on my list, other than your kiss, is
because your kiss,
Georgia, Tennessee. This is going to be a hell of a game. Georgia's at home. You got Tennessee coming into a pretty jacked up Georgia team right now that lost.
Desperate.
And getting pretty desperate, to Vince's point, to pull this win off. Otherwise, they're probably staying home for the playoff. So this is really go time. And I like what Josh Heupel's doing there in Tennessee. I think this is going to be a close game. If you do look at Tennessee right now, they are a huge underdog. They're like 3-1 right now. So there's like the odds on that are like plus 350. So definitely look at that if you're a gambling man.
That's a hard bet though, because you're looking at a team that's riding pretty high in Tennessee. They're top 6 now. Georgia, big time loss. They go back home. They're fighting for their life right now. There's motivation to win that game. Like, I find it impossible that Georgia's going to lose that.
Fighting for my motherfucking life.
Fighting for my life right now.
Fighting for my fucking life. But what I will say is this team, Georgia, to Vince's point, can be beaten.
Oh, yeah.
And they've proven they can be beaten.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is it a tough team to play at home? Yes, very. Is that stadium meter going to be at 10? Yes.
1,000,000%.
Oh, it's cold.
There go. Okay.
It's going to be a battle. I think it's going to be closer than people believe. If I'm a betting man, I'm going to hit the under. Give me the under. Right now, I believe the under is at 45.5.
This is a freshman quarterback against a unproven Georgia team this year and 2 really good defenses. So I would take the under too, but it's got to be low.
Yeah, the under definitely seems to be the play right now. If we're going to look at that line just for all the gambling people out here.
What's it saying right now there, buddy?
47.5. I like the under on that because think about when Bama went into Tennessee.
Yeah, Bama scored 42 on their heads, but that offense is a lot better than Tennessee. 47 is an interesting line. Think about that
game when Tennessee played Bama at Tennessee. I mean, that was a very low scoring game. Like final score was like 15-10.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think they're both scoring 25, 24?
Hell no.
So it's got to be the under.
I'm with both defenses and both secondaries playing the way they do and the quarterback play being Kaka, I'm going to lean at the under. That's my opinion.
Scary total for me, but I think I'm with you there too.
All right, well, let's ride. Now, LSU
Turbo.
Florida, knowingly this year, playing good teams at home pretty well until the second half.
You know what Brian does, Mike?
he beats really.
He beats bad
Bad teams.
teams and loses to good teams. And Florida's a bad team this year, bud. LSU's
good
winning
one.
this game. LSU's winning this
That's a
game.
good one. I think you're probably on the right narrow there. South Carolina, Mizzou.
Fun.
This game seems to be South Carolina starting to put it together. Beating Texas A&M a couple weeks ago.
They've been frisky. They've been season ruiners. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of starting to get to be the one who's going to ruin the prom. They're looking tough right now, and Mizzou, just to the Vince's point, Drew Pine, not exactly a guy.
He's bad. He's bad at quarterback.
He's not good. That's a for sure right on. So I would look at this game and say, all right, South Carolina has a potential to come in and definitely ruin some things for Mizzou. Although Mizzou has come back and beat some people. So
they beat a formerly ranked team in Vanderbilt, still weird to say, by 21 last week. They also came in and shat on Texas A&M a couple weeks ago. And on Oklahoma, who's not very good. And then almost beat Alabama. They lost by 2. Like, South Carolina's been doing some silly things the last 3-4 weeks right now. They're going to keep this game tight. I'm sure of it. Honestly, take the spread if you're taking anything. But I don't know if they're going to win this game, but definitely take the spread on that.
And then a game that I just think is going to be fun.
Okay.
Because we have a transfer quarterback coming in, Mayava.
Okay.
All right. So USC, Nebraska at home. 2 teams that don't necessarily play defense very well. Patrick Mahomes, little minion clone.
Baby Mahomes,
Baby Mahomes, but isn't Mahomes, for the record. I think you could see it just a score fest come out of nowhere with this one.
That's one of those watch it for the love of the game situations. Maybe take the over. That's kind of how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, the over's at 50, and USC is favored to win.
What? It's in California?
It's in SoCal, baby.
And they're favored to beat Nebraska right now?
They're favored to beat Nebraska right now.
Oh, that stinks of a trap game.
Does it?
Yeah. I won't be touching that with a 10-foot pole right now. No, thank you.
Not touching it, huh?
No, I'm done with USC. You've done it to me. I'd rather touch Oregon, Wisconsin, and take Wisconsin money line over that.
Oh, wow. That's big news.
At least you know you're going to die. No, Oregon's going to destroy them. Oregon, best team in the nation. Yeah. They have to be. Some people listen to this, so you have to speak.
Ohio State, subjectively, may be the best, but.
Yeah, but they played against each other.
Yeah.
Who won?
Poor clock management by good old
Who won
Chip
that?
Boy. I know who won, barely.
There you go. Oregon best team.
There was a lot of shitty offensive. There was a lot of shitty defensive calls, just completely just given to that team the second half. It was a hard fought game, and then the refs seemingly were like, home team.
There's a saying that my dad used to tell me: excuses are like assholes. Everybody's got one.
Yeah.
Oregon beat them. Best team in the country. Until otherwise said.
Here's another one, Vince.
Okay.
Never trust the fart if you have itchy ass. Okay. So
okay. Don't know how that applies, but yes, sir.
Hey, listen, 1 bird in your hand is better than 2 in the bush.
I don't get that one.
You don't get it?
1 bird?
1 bird in your hand is better than 2 in the bush.
The bird's the peen. 2 in the gotcha. All right, NBA.
Let's talk about the NBA.
Greg Popovich, mild stroke. He's out for a little bit of time here. Greg Popovich is an old man.
He's not young.
He's obviously staying active. Hope for a quick recovery from him. But yeah, this is an old guy. Coaching basketball right now.
He's an old guy, but he earned it.
Thanks, Oz.
He earned it. You hope he gets on the right narrow. I think that his assistant head coach is a woman, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Becky Hammond moved to the WNBA like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Oh, good for her. Good for her.
Yeah, no, it's
making more money now, or the same money.
Probably. I forgot who is interim coach right now, but we all Popovich has made enough of an impression there, but he's probably still coaching there regardless of what's going on right now.
True.
I wanted to do like an around the league, what's going on currently, just so we can kind of figure out what's happening and keep people that aren't watching the game a little bit updated on what's happening. Because I know for sure that you're not watching it.
Wait, the NBA?
Yeah.
No, man, I love it.
So, okay, let me tell you about some storylines. Klay Thompson back in Golden State for the first time as a Dallas Maverick.
Wow.
5-minute ovation.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a video where Spencer did when he's like, you see that? That's what happens when you win 4 championships. And he's goddamn right about that. That's Scottie Pippen going back to the Bulls. It's,
right.
He deserves that. He went off, but Steph Curry went Olympics off at the end of that game. Golden State Warriors 9-2 on the season.
Yeah, nobody plays defense.
Okay. 9-2 on the season, though. There are teams that aren't playing well, and there's teams that are playing well. Regardless of how it's going, Warriors are playing a lot better this year. They're a little bit younger than they've been in years past. Look out for that. That's what I'm saying. Storylines around the league. I'm not going to overdo this here, but I'm just saying so people know. Cleveland Cavaliers haven't lost a game yet. Only undefeated team in the whole NBA.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. Evan Mobley, Darius Garland going off right now. That's a squad that might be able to do something.
What about Donovan Mitchell?
Very good as well. He's gonna score regardless. You got to hope that the young guys start playing.
Did they finally get a big in Cleveland because they needed one?
Well,
because that team was like the small theory, and then it's not working.
That was Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley was a young man at the beginning of this, and he's been bulking up, and he's been playing a bigger, like down low presence than he has in the past. So hopefully you hope that he keeps doing that for the rest of the year. But they're the best team in the East right now, and you can't get really mad at that because there's a lot of big boys in the East. Speaking of big boys in the East, Mike, Giannis and the Bucks, 3-8. 3-8 with Damian Lillard and Doc Rivers at the helm. Doc Rivers, clearly not a good coach. Been saying this for fucking years. This is still the case right now.
Do we believe that Dame Lillard's out soon? Because the whole idea was for him to go there and for them to win a championship.
Wow. Some would say the movement in players wouldn't be Damian Lillard, Mike. Some would say the movement in players is looking more like Giannis wants to get the fuck out of Milwaukee.
Really?
That's the talk right now. He's saying that there's issues there. He's kind of like suggested that, he'd be interested in playing elsewhere. And he's like talked about like, I don't think he's coming to the Bulls, but he's talked about the glory of the Bulls and how cool it is to play there and how it's like Chicago's a place that anybody would want to play if you get the opportunity to do that. He's talked about New York and how it's like the Mecca of America and the beginning of like where all this stuff happened and how it's like the pride of basketball. He's talked about that in multiple locations. Shit doesn't get figured out quickly. He can get traded for a blockbuster package. Don't think he's going to get traded this year, but I do think it might be happening in the offseason. If it really goes downhill, though, he might see a new team by the time a trade deadline comes along.
It's going downhill. It's going down swinging.
I'm yelling timber. Doc Rivers sucks, dude. He's so bad.
Well, and that's to your point. I believe that Dame and Giannis, it's just two superstars like that really can't coexist. Giannis was always just the guy with a lot of
defense, man. There's no defense.
Not anymore. Middleton, he's still on that team, right?
Yeah, but he's getting older.
Seems like after they lost Drew Holiday, it was just...
That's exactly it. That's
over.
exactly
Drew
it.
Holiday, man, he got on the Celtics to completely change the narrative for that entire team and the culture, and it's just everything.
Guess who's still good, dude? The
Drew Holiday.
Yeah, they're all just so good. It's Cavaliers Celtics. They're running like 2 bowls right now. Probably making
the
the Eastern
Celtics may go back to back. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Jimmy,
Joe Mazzulla can get me excited to eat a turd.
Well, that's very true. And then you got Jimmy B. You got Jimmy Butler. I mean, I hope the Heat can figure it out. But there's a lot of drama there.
There's a lot of drama. Him and Pat Riley not on the same page. A lot of arguing back and forth. Pat Riley saying he's not a team player. Jimmy Butler's not young, Mike. He can't really lead a team by himself right now like he's doing, regardless of how good of a coach Spoelstra is. But But where does he go? Because he's kind of seen as like a locker room cancer a little bit.
Well, maybe a team like the Bucks would take him, and he would be a pretty decent piece there. You know, he plays defense. At least he plays hard.
Yeah.
Maybe be the wake up call that team would need.
That would be a
Don't
lot
know
of
what
personality in that.
Don't know what. Yeah, but
Doc
don't know what you're gonna
Rivers
give up
versus
for.
Jimmy Butler, Giannis, and Damian Lillard would be great. I'd watch that.
Or Jimmy tries to find his way to New York to play with tonight, and
Yeah, maybe.
and he loves Tibbs. Tibbs has always gotten to him. So
Oh yeah.
you go play in a garden. You get to play with Cat. You get to play really in a really solid situation there.
100%, where you don't have to dominate the ball. Jalen Brunson dominating the ball a little too much.
Hey.
That being said,
So would you give up Brunson for Jimmy?
No
No shot.
Jimmy Butler's old, Mike. He's like 34, dude. In basketball years, it's not young. That ain't young.
Hey, I'm 33. What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't think I would trade you. I wouldn't think I would trade you for like a 4-year pro.
Where's my? I earned it.
I earned it.
I earned it.
Last thing about the NBA, Anthony Edwards good at basketball. Who would have thunk?
Anthony Edwards is very good at basketball.
Very
he
good.
gets to be a little zesty little boy out there in Manhattan now. Oh, not Anthony Edwards.
I was like, huh?
He
You talk
also
about Cat, Anthony Edwards, and Julius
Carl
Randle
Anthony
and Rudy
Towns.
Gobert over in Minnesota, working it well. It's going all right for them.
Yeah. A lot of people say Anthony Edwards might be a little too ball dominant. Everything in
You
it.
have to be. There's no other guys that can dominate the ball
I know,
besides
but
Julius on the team.
I think ultimately that'll be their downfall and why they may or may not win that division. Just saying.
You could. That's how the Bulls won 6. So it's up to how they want to play it.
There you go. There you go.
That's NBA, baby. This Friday, Mike. This Friday, the biggest fight of all time. A geriatric Mike Tyson versus a YouTuber. Who do you got?
Like what's such a large catch of money this is.
boy.
I wish we could just say, you know what? Mike and Vince on the Taxi Squad podcast all of a sudden hate each other for no reason. And we're fighting on YouTube next week. Fuck you, Vince. And then we make millions. Like
Yeah.
Jake Paul proved he's not a really good fighter because
He better
fought
than
a
people
good,
thought he was going to be.
but he
I'll
fought
give
a
him that.
professional fighter and got his ass beat.
Lost,
So
right.
that'll never happen again.
Yeah, he's king marketer for sure.
He's a king at marketing.
Mike Tyson
bless
seems scary. Mike Tyson, almost 60 years old. Jake Paul is 30 years younger than him. 20 years, 30.
30.
Yeah, man. Okay. Like, there's probably a lot of rules to this one. There's probably a lot of bullshit connected to it. Everybody's talking about it. Am I going to check in to see who wins and maybe definitely illegally stream it for a little bit of time? Maybe. Possibly if I find some time. Okay. That's how I feel about this whole thing. All right. Hopefully Mike Tyson knocks him out. That'd be funny. That's how I feel.
Whatever. I hope Mike Tyson knocks him out too because Mike Tyson's got that old man strength.
Mm-hmm.
Cause he's gonna fucking
Yeah, but
kill
they
you.
go 4 rounds. Mike Tyson's screwed.
Not necessarily.
He's
Iron
old,
Mike, man. He's Iron
Yeah,
Mike.
but you remember him at the end of his career.
Yeah, but he was still doing drugs and stuff. I broke my back.
He was doing drugs until like a year ago.
Like you broke it before the fight? Yeah. Spinal. Spinal. That's my favorite line ever. I could just listen to it on repeat all over it. Spinal.
It's, it'll be good money for them.
When he told that one guy, "I'll fuck you to me, you love me." Like, well, it's like this weird lispy action Bronson. It's like, I fight him in the ring.
Spinal.
Spinal.
Are you going to be tuning in?
No.
Me either. I'll just check out and see what the results
football
are.
to watch. I'm chilling.
I got
Friday
anything
night.
else to do. Birthday party,
Friday
whatever.
night. I'm low key this weekend, bro. I'm traveling next week. We got the wedding.
Yeah.
We got things to do, people to see. I'm laying low key this weekend. I don't want to see people. You call me, I'm not answering.
You know what you might get on that super box?
What? Hey, watch it. What can I get?
Tyson Jake Paul.
All right, I might tune in for 5 minutes just out of morbid curiosity to see what the hell
that's the selling point for me too.
But the problem is it's just like fake tap dancing the whole
Right.
time.
I know. You start watching and you're like, okay, whatever. See you later.
To me,
nice to see you.
the best fight I've watched in the past decade was Wilder Fury. And it's that simple.
Boxing, yeah. I'm with you there.
Boxing. I think the last Wilder Fury fight's one of the best fights I've ever watched. When two heavyweights are going at it, there's no, like when Lennox Lewis was at his prime, not a better boxer in the planet.
While I agree with you, I think UFC is just way more enticing to watch than boxing.
UFC used to be so interesting, fun, neat, and cool.
Oh, it's so fun, Mike. It still is, dude.
It is, but I get it. It's just so oversaturated now.
Yeah, that's what happens when it gets big. But
I get it. But like, I like the Matt Hughes days. I like the Tito Ortiz days. I like.
You're an old man. Got to teach you new tricks, bud. You got to start getting in. You got to start getting in these Kazakhstanis or whatever the hell they're called.
Oh, fellow youths. All right, let's talk about football.
Yeah,
talk about relevant topics. All right.
Let's I'll let you sound off, Mike. Go ahead, sound off.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah.
Come to talk with you again about the worst team in the NFC North. We were so high on this team the first 5 weeks going into a bye week.
You're so high.
Caleb Williams looked to be really clicking with the offensive coordinator. They seem to be figuring things out. And then that epic Hail Mary loss, and this whole thing is just crumbling from within.
Yep.
And we've seen this story before. With Mark Trestman, it happened at that point. With Matt Nagy, it happened at that point. What I'm failing to understand, John Fox, what I'm failing to understand is how do you continue to employ a coach that doesn't have a winning record? Okay, first and foremost. He's won 18 games in 3 years.
Yeah.
And has never won a road game on a Sunday, which you primarily play on Sundays.
Yeah.
You've lost games where you had multiple games, 4 actually, where you had a 95% chance win total. He claimed when he became the head coach that he was going to be the, in quote, CEO of the team. Well, he is the last thing to be called a CEO. If anything, he's low on the totem pole because I feel like the team is lost. And I also do feel as if that moving forward, he's done. The Bears need to really maybe just let the fans pick now. Just do a poll as to, hey, who do you want? Here are your options. Fan poll on Twitter. Boom, that's who we're taking. And I bet you we would be able to figure it out better for them than they be able to figure it out for themselves.
Yep.
Because at this stage of the game, it is absolutely criminal that you have now done this for over a decade after firing a 10-6 coach. And it's literally fucking Groundhog's Day, as I alluded to the first half of the episode. Fire everybody, scorched earth, get a head coach in here who maybe knows how to salvage what's left of this kid, a.e. Caleb Williams. Get rid of Keenan Allen. You just, I don't understand it anymore. I don't understand. It's like you are literally practicing the definition of insanity.
I mean, you're right. It's like over and over again, same thing. Like you said, you get Mitch. Mitch gets one coach switches over. You get Justin gets one coach switches over. You get Caleb gets Eberflus, coach switches over. Over and over again. The only continual connection between all of this is ownership. They shouldn't own that team anymore. They're literally afraid of hiring anybody that's not like a buttoned-up, sweet guy, which is not what we need. And to that point, Keenan Allen went on his press conference today. There was a couple things where it was like they asked Jalen Johnson, hey, like Kevin Byard, excuse me. Like, what's going on? and he was like, how do you feel about the confidence in this coaching staff? He said he would prefer not to answer that, which I believe is the best way to answer that, because he's not hating on him, but he's also not saying he's got his badge of fucking respect for him. Keenan Allen went on his presser today and said, like, he's a good guy. He's just too nice of a guy. Like, we were allowed to just get away with shit, and you can't be doing that. Like, they're too nice. The McCaskies want a crony, just like Reinsdorf wants a crony that's just going to say, like, yes, sir, I'll do what you asked me to. And that's what ends up happening, is you just have an undisciplined team. And even Caleb today was like, he was talking to Thomas Davis, who's taking it over now. And he's like, I think Thomas Davis is right, yeah?
Yeah.
Thomas something. And he's like, yeah, we're going to have a couple more throws where I can, if I need to bail out, I can bail out. It's like, yeah. You should have been doing that already. And it's just like stuff like that where you're just, I don't expect to get any better. All these things being said, it was like a Freaky Friday situation after that Hail Mary where it was like, yeah, okay, now everything changes. The Arizona Cardinals are seemingly a good team now. So all of that stuff could have been like redeemable and fine if you didn't lose to a horrible Patriots team against another rookie quarterback in such depressing fashion. That's how they had to change it. If it's any other franchise, they're already firing Eberflus this week, but it's the Bears and they don't do that in the middle of the season. It's just the same shit. So all you can really hope for is, hey, they're going to make a change in the offseason and they finally make the correct decision. I wouldn't blame anybody for not wanting to come here if they don't get a lot of like actual ownership in their job. And then even like, and dude, Mark Silverman, I enjoy listening to your show. It's fun to me. He posted a tweet today that says, like, Bears have problems with coaching. Also, rumblings of veterans wanting Tyson Bagent to start. And then everybody's like, who are the veterans? Like, he didn't give any information about that. Which, like, it's hard to believe. Maybe, like, one guy said it, but it's hard to believe me that there's veterans on the team saying, like, I really want Tyson Bagent to start. That's crazy. I believe that's false advertising. So everybody's saying, like, everybody wants Caleb Williams to stop playing. I think he's just saying that, and he's saying that other people told him that just so he can get people to click on his shit. Because I don't believe that for a second, and there's no way that Bagent is going to be more efficient than Caleb is. It's an operational issue. It's an organizational hazard. It's not a single-man problem, and that starts with ownership.
If this continues and you can't protect him, which, by the way, he was sacked 9 times.
Yeah, okay. Couple of them, though, Mike, all things considered, offensive line's bad. Couple of them, you have to just get rid of the ball. At some point.
I agree. Some of them are his fault, but he's Sam Darnold out there seeing ghosts. Yeah. He's missing throws left and right because he's rattled. At this stage, he needs to potentially sit down for a little bit and go back to the drawing board. I don't necessarily believe it's a terrible thought process to give Bagent the reins if he just continues to look like he's shook. Now, do I believe he is the, starter going forward? No. But do I believe if the next game Caleb still looks like this, you need to pull him and you need to let Bagent get in there and actually operate an offense because he can do that. And he's proven that he can. He's not necessarily going to win you the football game, but
he's proven he can do it for a game.
Yeah, but he's not going to lose you the football game.
He did last year. Do you remember that shit? He came in a couple times, and you were like, okay, he's pretty good.
Because Caleb Justin got hurt.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like game and a half, he was really good, and then they started adjusting to him, and then it was bad. It got bad fast with Tyson in there, too. I'm not going to hate on the guy too much, but he's a backup quarterback, and that's the thing.
He has the best job in the world.
I think a lot of the veterans, if they're actual real veterans, are going to know, like, this guy's clear backup talent. He can come in and win you a game maybe once. It's not going to be gravy for the rest of the season after that. He's not the cleared solution to this either. So I just hated that report, and I am sick of people saying, like, well, half the team wants Bagent to play. It's like, that's bullshit. Maybe one or two guys said that for 2 minutes, and, like, they're just reporting it like assholes. Team's bad. They're not good. They're probably bottom 5 in the league right now. Probably going to lose out for the rest of the year. Like, the NFC North's clearly better than them, and then they have to make a decision and choose it. And for all things considered, yeah, Caleb's in a bad spot. He's getting Sam Darnold. If Caleb is the fucking man, and they make a switch and it all is proper and he can't figure it out after that, like, that's a him issue too. So it's not a completely off of him entirely. I don't blame him for playing bad under bad leadership. All of that being said, you do have to you have to adjust to that. If you're going to be the man, you're going to be undeniable.
It's always so interesting to me how these organizations think, or this organization thinks, that you can stick with a head coach.
He's nice. He's a nice guy.
That doesn't develop talent.
He's a nice guy,
They've
though.
proven they don't develop talent other than some defensive talent. That's about it. But the rest of that team is free agents that's worth a shit. So when you look at this, okay, yeah, you drafted the best quarterback. I still believe in the draft. If you look at the numbers, he's right there with the rest of them. Jaden Daniels is starting to take the crown because he's actually in an
That's hard to argue. Yeah, it's hard to argue with Jaden playing as well.
Yeah, but he has a guy who understands what he's good at, and he caters an offense towards his young quarterback's best abilities. Which is
how long do you get that excuse?
Well, now you need a new system.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen until next year.
Right.
If next year a head coach comes in here that gets his hands on him, that knows how to work with quarterbacks, which I believe Ben Johnson would be a great addition. Or
why would he want to come here though? He knows that they're literally putting handcuffs on a coach from ownership. Like, I don't even blame Poles for this shit because I don't even think Poles got really much of a choice.
I don't think anybody's putting handcuffs on anybody.
I don't think they want anybody that's going to come in and say, hey, this is bullshit. We need to change how we're doing stuff. I think the McCaskies want to get blown all of the time.
But why do you hire a coach and not let them do their job?
Well, they can do their job within the confines of knowing that, like we're the boss and we can tell you what to do. That's how it feels.
I don't believe the McCaskies have
every
the football.
coach we've had. I don't think it's football. I think it's personality.
I don't think they have the football acumen to tell anybody what to do.
It's personality, dude. It's solely personality. So, everybody they hire is butter soft. When's the last hard-nosed Bears coach that we've had?
Dicka.
That was 1989 or whenever that he got fucking fired. Since then, it's just been butter soft since then. And I love Lovie Smith, but he was also not hard ass.
To the media was butter soft, but to the players was hard.
But even Lance Briggs was talking about it too, and he was like, Lovie Smith was one of those bring me into the office and talk to you privately nice guys. Where he got his shit together and you listened to him because he respected him, but he also wasn't like a fuck you, figure this shit out. They're not hiring Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh's gonna say you guys are running this shit like idiots. Well, or Vrabel or anybody like that. They wouldn't hire anybody like that.
Something needs to change. And if the Bears want to win, then they'll understand the change is needed, and the McCaskey family will say, okay,
they do. I don't know if
hire
they do.
Somebody who makes sense. They're never going to sell that franchise.
It's Jerry Reinsdorf again, man. All we are surrounded by a bunch of Jerry Reinsdorfs with a bunch of tender knees. That's our whole life is tender knee. And I got a tender heart from all these tender knees, dude.
But then again, Ben Johnson, I think, is the play. Or Mike Vrabel. Do I think Vrabel would happen? Probably not.
I wouldn't blame Ben Johnson for not wanting to come here, but I would like to see him.
But where else would you go next year? There's no vacancy that's going to be open that's attractive as the Bears.
You don't know that.
Who?
You don't know that. We don't know.
All right, let's break it down.
The Bears are the biggest.
Jets are going to be wide open.
Yep.
Okay. Jets are going to be wide open.
Does Ben Johnson leave?
Yeah. They win a Super Bowl, he's as good as gone. Money.
Yeah, but are they going to win a Super Bowl? But the Lions it's such a job right now. It's like the guy from the Chiefs before. It's such a job.
I understand that. But if you get the opportunity to go start your ship in the same division, which and get your hands on a quarterback that you wanted and what does well.
Open jobs possibility. Jaguars.
Okay.
Raiders.
Okay.
Jets.
Okay.
Cowboys.
Okay.
Maybe the Giants, depending on how Dayball works out. I don't know if they're going to fire him or not.
Okay.
And then Saints. I'm probably taking the Raiders job.
No.
They're going to have the first pick in the draft. They're going to pick Shador. You're going to get a brand new quarterback.
Okay, but do you like what that guy does over Caleb? I mean, the Bears have weapons and young weapons at that. So you go hire a guy that makes sense and you bring him in.
Mark Davis lets you run the system, though. Mark Davis lets you do whatever the fuck you want.
That's never worked.
Yeah. Shoot, it's just
Hey, it's all hyperbole at this stage of the game. Bears are
If
probably
you-
going to finish with a losing record. We're back to basics. Let's
that's
go.
last thing I want to say is just if you're looking to go into a place that harbors success, Chicago's not it. Because we haven't been successful ever.
But if you bring a championship to this town, you will forever be remembered as a legend.
100%. Gotta have balls to do it.
Gotta have
all
the stones to do it, though. Okay, let's talk about our weekly picks.
Week
Oh,
10.
and by the way, they released Nate Davis, finally.
Oh, yeah. See ya. Peace.
How you doing?
I got 2 on you right now, Mike.
Oh, Vince took the cake this week.
For
Hey,
the people
attaboy.
at home, we are through 10 weeks. The current record is Mike 91-61 on the year. I am 89-63, so I am 2 away from tying this up, buddy. It's getting closer again because
This always happens. At some point in the year, Vince gets close, and then I kind of
I beat you year 1. You beat me the last 2 years, but I beat you year 1. So come on now.
Get ready for a little bit more tenderness.
Bring it back,
Between the Bears and the
Tebow.
White
Oh.
Sox, I have so much felt on my face over the past decade. I cannot tell you. I am verklempt. I am tired. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I have tender knees. Before you know it, tender toe. And then we don't have any winnings. So let's talk about the last week, shall
You
we?
want to know who's tired, Mike?
Who's tired?
Joe Burrow. It's got to be.
Oh, man. Playing his
He's
ass
got to
off.
be. He's so good.
Playing his ass off.
He's playing at an MVP level, and they can't win a fucking game.
MVP.
And I am thankful for the whole malaria thing, which is cool. So far, still pretty confident in not having to get malaria this year because they may
we're
as well
gonna
not
find
make
it.
the
If you're
playoffs.
gonna have... Okay.
Baltimore's very good. Derrick Henry didn't have a crazy game, and they did it without him because Lamar Jackson is having an MVP year as well. Very well could win that again this year. That game was hype as fuck for a Thursday. That was one of the more hype Thursday games we've had.
I watched the entire thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't intending on watching the entire thing,
Hype.
but that game was electric.
Yeah.
And I told everybody listening to this podcast, if you listened, it was going to be a close game. They always play each other close. I thought the Bengals had a real shot to win it. They can't get off the field on defense, unfortunately. And that was their demise of this game. And Lamar Jackson's really good at football, and so is Derrick Henry.
So
and
was Jamar Chase.
And Jamar Chase and Joe
Holy
Burrow are also
shit,
very
what a
good at
game.
football. I thought that last 2-point conversion try for Joe Burrow was, in my opinion, some booty cheeks by the ref. There was helmet-to-helmet contact. There was also an absolute tackle of Mike Gesicki in the end zone that wasn't called.
Yeah.
And then Joe Burrow threw the ball. There was no calls on each. And then
For those of you new here, I call this the Mikey Ref Show.
dude, okay.
Because I don't blame you, but you are like the fuck the ref
I just
guy.
want the game to be called the same way for each person. And
Yeah.
that doesn't happen. The game is not equally called. Home teams usually have an advantage, which I get. Or if your name's Patrick Mahomes, you see Patrick Mahomes over the weekend
the
go into a
Chiefs?
ref. Hey, could you tell me if when I'm about to get hit, Mr. Ref? Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Get the fuck out of here. I can't stand that shit.
It's all right. Yeah, Bengals 4-6, Ravens 7-3. Bengals should be better, man. They have a great quarterback. This is the thing we've been talking about with the Bears all the time. It's like, we need a quarterback, we need a quarterback, we need an electric receiver. Bengals got both of them, and they can't figure out the fucking defense. So I guess, the Bears are still a better team than the Bengals right now, record-wise, which is crazy
I guess.
to me.
And hey, you also look at the Bears defense gave up 19 points to one of the worst offenses in the league. So there you go.
13? 19. 19-3?
19.
13-3.
19.
Yeah. Bears also, not to bring this back, but Bears strength of schedule moving forward. 0.737, the second best 0.585. Easily the hardest. So yeah, have fun with that. Ravens move on. Bengals lose again. Germany, the payback for World War II and the
Oh,
Nazis.
yes. The Panthers and the Giants.
The worst game you may ever watch of all time.
They had a little bit of Schadenfreude on the Giants
So
sideline.
hungover. Watching this, I was like, yikes. One takeaway from this, Bryce Young, not as bad as we thought.
No, he's not. He just
Pretty
was in a
good.
shitty situation.
Pretty good
Feel bad
moves
for
here,
the guy.
Bryce.
He looked good. I mean,
know who's in a
granted, he had a
shitty
great running
situation?
game. What?
Brian Daboll's in a shitty situation. Daniel Jones is so gone after this year. So gone.
Well, is Dayball still there? That's the question.
I'd say keep him. You know I've always been a Dable guy. He was forced in a position to keep Daniel Jones. 100%. He made the most out of him 1 year. Daniel Jones isn't very good, and they need – the thing is if he gets injured, they're screwed because then it's an immediate opt-in. So part of me says take him out because they can opt out of his contract at the end of this year, and they need to.
Well, then bench him for Tyrod. Go.
Listen, Dayball goes, Daniel Jones goes. Pretty enticing position being a New York Giants head coach there with possibility of being one of the worst teams in the league. Devin Singletary's demoted too completely. His job was just taken by Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah, who fumbled.
Yep.
And gave that game away because the Giants looked like they were about to come back, and they didn't.
Chuba Hubbard. Speaking of this too, the NFL's talking about essentially doing a European game almost every week next year. Commissioner says that. They're such bullshit. I hate them.
That's
it's an American sport. I don't like waking up at 9 a.m. and seeing shitty
They're
teams.
trying to really make it a global.
I know, but you can't NBA this. You can't NBA it because they all have to play on the same day. The NBA is different because it plays all of the time. It's an American sport. You should keep it that way. Not like saying that people in England can't watch it and shit, but like, if they're gonna wake up early.
If you want to play in Mexico, fine. Yeah, fuck them. Play at 4 a.m. I gotta lose sleep because of these jigs.
Or just like stay up until 2 a.m. to watch it. I mean, I wake up at like 8 o'clock sometimes to watch Newcastle on Premier League because the English aren't like, when are the Americans gonna watch our soccer? We have to act the same way. We have to. It's so stupid.
They won't because corporate America wants to be global and global and global
is
and
capitalism,
global.
Baby.
Pretty much. And the Panthers win. Called it.
Drake made good. Caleb Williams bad. 49ers Bucks. Here we go.
What a close game. What a close game. I thought it was Baker just really playing good teams well, which is what he does. He just doesn't have any horses on that team to help him get it over the hump. When Mike Evans come back, they may have a shot, though, in sneaking into the playoffs. I still do believe
4-6 is tough from there, dude.
They're a good football team, man. They're a good football team.
I agree.
They get Evans back, they're in better shape.
Bucky Irving is a blessing.
Bucky Irving is very good at football.
I'd like to argue that Brock Purdy is better than a system quarterback. I think Brock Purdy's pretty damn good at quarterback, Mike. He played a hell of a game this week.
He did. I agree. I like Bucky Irving a lot. I like Baker. I don't know if you saw the sack.
I just said Brock Purdy's very good.
Oh, sorry. I don't know how I got Baker Mayfield out of that. Brock Purdy's good at
quarterback. Look at those numbers, dude. 25 for 36, 353, 2 touchdowns. Receiver leader Juwan Jennings.
Okay.
Ricky Pearsall shot in the offseason.
But how about gangster put up many men? Ricky Pearsall, absolute dog.
First touchdown of the year. Christian McCaffrey's back.
Yeah, and everybody bet him to get a touchdown, but he didn't, which I think is hilarious.
I don't know why you would bet. We're obviously going to have a carry restriction and a receiving restriction on him in this game. Brock Purdy better than a system quarterback. Respect him as such. Pay him as such.
Put respect on his name, will you? Put some respect on his name.
He is that good. Scary game. Field goal block to win the game. Chiefs beat the Broncos.
Yeah, I don't know what Will Lutz was thinking. He hoofed that thing so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was horrible. Although I was watching the games with brother-in-law, and we were at a fine eating establishment, and just Chiefs fans who lose their minds in games. I don't like you.
Oh, you're so salty.
In public places,
you're so
for
salty.
The best team in the league. I don't like you. I don't like
you're salty, buddy.
A, they can't hear you. B, okay, you're wearing a Chiefs shirt. And C, it's the best team in football. Just
Mike,
shut the fuck up.
This was a 2-point game. End of the game, field goal block. You're being a jealous baby right now.
I just don't like it, Vince.
I
there was
know,
a
you're
Cardinals
being
fan
jealous.
screaming like, "Yeah, Marvin!" And I'm like, dude, he can't hear you.
I know,
Okay.
but like you can't
We're
get
at a
mad at
football
somebody getting
family.
passionate about their
You're
sport if it's
60
close.
years old. Let's move on with our
The
lives.
problem I have is when you're watching that Packers guy last week when they were down 25 and they were yelling at a drive that meant nothing. The end of this game was intense as fuck, dude. Come on.
I got a problem with a lot of people. I sound like Sebastian there.
You do. You do.
I got a
It's all right,
problem with
dude.
a lot of people. Chiefs fans? Okay.
You see who gets 14 carries this game on the Broncos?
Estime?
Notre Dame King. Love him. What a power boy. Love him.
Dude. Weird.
I thought the same thing when I said it.
All right,
That's my power
pause.
king.
Pause. Aldrich Estime was very good at Notre Dame, and it's good to see him doing
He's a man.
good things in a Broncos uniform. If you're a fantasy guy, I would recommend making sure you pick that guy up because I do believe he's on to some bigger and better things.
Agreed.
Yes.
Broncos may be a little bit better than we thought.
Broncos are a good football team. Sean Payton's a very good head football coach. You're welcome. I said that for a long time. Okay.
Bills beat the Colts.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco, not that good.
Not Flacco.
It's not Flacco this year, buddy. Steelers Commanders 1-point game.
George Pickens, I would like to remind everybody, is borderline psychotic, and I love him for it because
so
this
Tomlin.
fucker is catching games or catching touchdown passes so acrobatic, like it's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, true top 10, number one type shit. And then
Interception.
on the second drive on an interception, tearing a motherfucker's head off and suplexing a D-back. Like, this man is psychotic, and I love everything about
completely avoiding the ball character, turns around, carrier,
just
just
suplex.
suplexes the other guy that had nothing to do with the play after
Fuck
that.
you. I'm going to take somebody out while this happens.
Mike Tomlin's a good coach.
Very good football coach. He's modern age, like Belichick to me. Rookie quarterbacks
Yeah, in a
don't
way.
do him. Yeah.
And like moving to Russell Wilson was clearly the correct call.
Russ, man, having a renaissance here. I'm happy for him.
Yeah. They're not asking him to do too much. And
No.
he's utilizing his guys well. He's throwing the ball down the field. Maybe let's play some zone coverage, guys. Maybe let's not do man-to-man against Russ so he can just breadbasket everybody. Maybe. Just an idea. Jada, not his best game, but the Commanders almost still won. I think both these teams came out and looked pretty good this week.
I'd agree.
Moving on. We have the Vikings and the
Shitball.
Jaguars.
Shitball. Sam Darnold, 2 games in a row, 3+ interceptions. What's going on in Minnesota?
Still like him?
man?
Still like him?
I still like him. He just needs to wake up a little bit. He's kind of resorting back to old bad habits.
I think people are figuring him out a little bit. I think the tape's out a little bit now. You're a couple games in. He was hot on it. Like, Hawkinson goes crazy, doesn't hit most of his other guys. Aaron Jones can't get the running game going. You can't pass the ball. And Sam Darnold's not a guy that can do that regardless of exterior issues. Like,
they couldn't score a touchdown. I mean,
he needs everything to work.
It was all field goals.
Against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who I will remind
Mac
you,
Jones,
who I will remind you had Mac Jones in, wore a disgusting jersey. They should have lost.
I dug the white helmets.
I think it was a bad combo. It looked a little UFL for me. And also a team that lost to the Chicago Bears. So you got to play better. You got to play better next week, Minnesota, because that was bad, in my opinion.
Well, they're still in the win column, which
also that defense is getting figured out a little bit.
Yeah,
I believe
Brian
that.
Flores is coaching defense, and then not only that, honorable mention, the the interception end zone dance of the Australian kickbox. Or what's her name? Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
What was her name? What was Raygun?
The Raygun end zone dance needs to be a normal thing in the NFL.
That was hilarious, dude. The little sneaker sounds.
Absolutely love it. Continue to do whatever that is. I love it. Okay.
Interim head coach game, Mike.
Who's the interim head coach for the Saints, Vince?
Darren Rizzi. I wanted to make sure I got his name right.
He's an Italian. Warren, how you doing?
His ears are down to his jawline. You ever see that?
No, he's got some ears.
Yeah, he's got some deep ears. His ears are low.
Deep ear. Put some deep ear on the screen.
His
for the
ears
pod.
are really low, dude.
You're watching this on YouTube. Let's get some deep ears.
Really low, dude.
Let's get some deep ears.
Let's okay, hold on.
Welcome back to the weekly concept of deep ears.
Deep ears. You ever heard about deep ears before?
Deep ears.
You ever seen
Are you a
deep
head
ears
football
before?
coach?
Are
you someone who has deep ears?
Let me zoom into these ears.
Get on the Taxi Squad podcast and show off your deepest earling.
You guys mess with some deep ears.
Okay, let's zoom that out. Oh boy. Oh yeah.
See how deep those ears go?
You zoom it up a little bit.
I'm zoomed up a lot. Hold on. Let me move some stuff around.
Blow it up a little bit.
Okay, here we go.
That's deep ear. If I've ever seen a deep ear.
There you go.
Oh man. He looks like he looks like fucking Dumbo, man. He looks like he can fly away with them.
He also looks like he probably was in the Air Force for a while.
Either that or he was a wrestler. He's got that look. He's got that look like he rolled around on mats when he's got some tender ear.
What happens with these guys is they come in and they win a game almost automatically, just the same way that Antonio Pierce won.
Deep ear.
Kind of the same concept where it's just like
he looks like he could get mad, and then
he looks like he can convince somebody that murder's okay, almost,
Right. Like you'll be fine, just do it.
Right. And that helps in a game like this, especially in our division. Do I think the Saints are good? No. Do I think he called a better game? And he did an interview beforehand that was like, we're going to win the game on like passion and grit or something like that. I forgot exactly what he ended up saying. But he's a guy that seems to believe in that as well, which is very cool. Falcons,
leave it to Kirk Cousins to drop a game against a really bad football team.
Yeah, they'll win this division still, though, so I wouldn't be too worried.
I'm not saying they won't, but hey, how about MVS, Marcus Valdez-Scantling? I almost felt like I was watching the Viking or the Chiefs. Or
the Packers. I forget where he is on a day-to-day basis. Next game, Chargers, Titans.
Yeah, the Chargers won. Okay, cool.
Chargers are good. Titans are bad. Jets, Cardinals. What the fuck? It's over for the Jets.
Cooked. Aaron Rodgers single-handedly may have set back the Jets franchise 20 years.
It kind of feels to me like the Jets are going to have a disappointing season. Sam Darnold's probably not going to start in Minnesota next year. Maybe Rodgers goes there or goes to Minnesota. He gets with the coach. Maybe they make like an AFC championship run, and then he rides off into the sunset. Does that sound familiar to you? No, not like an all-time Green Bay Packers. Yeah, all-time Green Bay Packers quarterback goes to the Jets, doesn't play the way that they want him to, comes to Minnesota, and then makes an AFC championship run. Could be pretty cool.
I don't think that'll happen. I do believe that. Yeah, it's over. Stick a fork in it. It's over.
They might get shitter. Who fucking knows? Arizona Cardinals pretty good. That run game is good, and Kyler Murray's on a comeback from hell.
Yeah.
Oh, next game. Eagles good or Cowboys bad?
Both.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Eagles are a lot better than we thought, and I think the Cowboys, especially without Dak, are really bad.
Dallas
really
Goedert
bad.
breakout game. I mean, look at that.
He's been having a season, man.
Yeah, he's a freak.
And Jalen Hurts didn't do anything to hurt them, and Saquon Barkley is the second best running back in the league.
Elite.
Like, considerably elite.
Elite. Jumps over people backwards, elite. Literally.
I made a mistake. I only beat you by one game this week, Mike.
Oh, how you
Oh,
doing?
and that's me on being honest, bud.
Vince got a little ahead of himself, huh?
Allow me to be honest. I could have just
So
lied
Vince
to you,
is
but I
not,
didn't.
Vince
So
is 9-5 then.
I am a beacon of.
So I am still up 4 games. You're welcome.
You're welcome. That's fine though. Lions beat the Texans in a thriller.
Yeah, it was a hell of a game, and I picked the
Yeah.
Lions on that. I don't know why you didn't give me that.
Are you listening to what I just said to you?
Oh, that was the mistake.
Good
Okay.
job, buddy. Good job, buddy.
Don't forget
That's
your
how the
Buccaneers
brain
pick.
works. That's how the
Don't
brain
forget your
works.
Buccaneers. Your Buccaneers are in green guy.
Yes, that's true. Good call. Bad clerical error on my end, but
Did
this
I
guy,
get you by more than what I thought I did over here?
I don't know. The Lions, Michael,
Are good at football.
are a team now that, besides being good at football, are a team that, besides all of their issues, still win games, which is a scary proposition. They're a team that their quarterback can throw 5 interceptions. Everything could seem to go wrong, and they still win football games. That's a team that will compete in the playoffs, like really compete.
They don't care if you have 1 ass cheek and 3 toes. They will still beat your ass.
And it's like Jared Goff hasn't thrown an interception in 6 weeks, right?
Yeah, correct.
He comes in this week and throws 5. Stroud doesn't have a great game. Defense plays their ass off, knows that the offense isn't having a good game, and they come in and they go 13-0 in the fourth quarter and win the game. That's how good teams play.
That's how good teams play. Amon-Ra St. Brown, very good at football. Sam Laporta, also very good at football. Jahmyr Gibbs may be another one who's just elite, just absolutely freakish at football. They have a 1-2 punch in that backfield that they utilize so well.
Is it me or did it feel like more defenders caught balls than offenders caught balls this game?
It was
DJ
Stroud had, like that wide open look he had at Tank Dell in the end zone that he missed.
Yeah.
Floated that football. It was horrible.
It was so uncharacteristic of both quarterbacks. It was very weird to watch.
Stroud in a smidge of a sophomore slump. Still very good at football. Smidge of a sophomore slump.
Yeah, I'll take the sophomore slump like over most Bears quarterbacks ever.
That's true.
That's something to be said. Tua.
It was hawking.
They won that game. You see that interception return?
Yeah, I was about to bring it up. He still can't figure it out yet. Get the fuck out of bounds.
Stop getting in the way of hurting your head, Tua. What are we doing here, dude? Like, what are we doing here? He's obsessed with it, with putting his head into danger. Obsessed with it.
He likes to hit his head on things. That's for sure.
And they're clearly way better with him.
Well, yeah, the offense runs around him.
Yeah, and nobody else. Clearly nobody else. Though I feel like the Rams kind of needed a letdown spot because they've been playing hotter than hell the last couple weeks here, and this seemed like the right time to do it. But yeah, to it. Put your head away, dude. What are we doing?
Put your head down, keep it away. But yeah, the Rams almost they had every opportunity to score this game. They couldn't find the end zone. It was horrible.
Yep, and that's how you lose games, bud. That's the way the cookie crumbles, if you know what I'm saying.
Score less than the other team, you're probably going to lose. All right. Let's talk about this week, shall we?
Shall we talk about this week, Michael?
I picked last week. Vince is going to pick this week.
Well, you're going to pick every week, but I am going to read them off this week.
Yes.
I haven't gotten the statistics on what fares better for us or worse for us, but let's give it a shot here. Let me move some stuff over here. All right, first things first. We got an NFC East battle that should be pretty exciting. Commanders at the Link in Philadelphia. Commanders versus Eagles.
I think it's going to be a hostile environment. Nothing that Jaden hasn't seen, but nothing he has seen at the next level. I like the Eagles. I think they continue their tear.
I agree. Raiders, Dolphins.
Give me the Dolphins.
Yeah, Raiders are really bad. I got to take the Dolphins too.
Raiders are pretty bad at football.
Browns Saints, Jameis versus a week 2 interim head coach.
Jameis goes back to the Saints where he originated the eating of W's.
True.
And not only that, where he was a backup for a little bit. I still think he goes out in Jameis's, and the Browns are bad at football, and the Saints look to be on a smidge of a heater and play well at home. Give me the Saints.
Interim head coaches are really good in the first week they come in, and they're really bad the second week they come in, and James Winston's the man. Give me the Browns. Colts, Jets.
I feel like the Jets get off the schneid home game against a pretty shitty football team in the Colts. Give me the Jets.
Since you're taking the Jets, and I feel like this is a pick 'em, I can make an argument that the Colts could win this game just because they have a chance of competing this year, and the Jets have already given up. So because of that, I'll take the Colts.
Okay.
Vikings, Titans.
Give me the Vikings.
Agreed. Titans are bad.
Arnold doesn't throw 17 picks.
True. Should I just put Packers for you here? The Bears aren't beating the Packers this week. There's no way in hell. I want them to. I would love them to do it.
It's still real to me, damn it.
I know, but there isn't a way they can do it. Like, there's no way.
See, I disagree. After 2 heartbreaking losses,
They don't owe us anything. They aren't a redeeming team. They're not like 2 heartbreaking losses. We're gonna try hard. They never have. This is new.
3 losses in a row. New OC. Caleb's proven he can be good. Defense has proven they can be good. Brisker may be back, which has been a big piece missing. Something's telling me the Bears. Just give me the Bears.
All right.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I'm looking at this in a different strategy. The way I can do this now, and I might even sprinkle some money on the Packers this week, because if the Bears win, there's a certain level of joy that you can't match with winning a competition in picks, nor winning money on sports gambling, and that's the Bears beating the Packers on home. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't believe it. So I'm going to go with my brain on this, and I'm going to go with my brain on the sports book. I'm going to go with my goddamn heart during the game, and all I'm going to do is just root against my pick the whole time. I want the Bears to win. I don't think they're going to, so I'm going to hedge my bets and go both ways on this. Take the Packers here and actively root against the Packers during the game. That's the only move I can do.
If this works, you ain't it. You ain't it.
If I can mush myself this hard to make the Bears a good team again, I will do that every day.
I'll pick against them every week.
I am here for that. All right, Jaguars, Lions.
Give me the Lions.
In
Because
Detroit,
Mac Jones is not good at football.
Rams, Patriots.
I think the Patriots are a sneaky, pretty good team. They've won a. They're at home. The Rams. They play defense really well, and the
Rams
Rams
they beat the Bears.
Yeah, okay.
The Bears are bad.
Really well. This game, give me the Pats. I like the Pats.
Okay, give me the Rams for sure. They lost last week too. Definitely, and I feel like more people like the Rams in New England than they do in LA. So Ravens, Steelers.
Give me the Ravens.
I want to take the Steelers really bad, but I feel like the Ravens are just that good.
Well, if your gut's telling you this, take it. Take it.
No, because my guts told me that I'm losing by 3 games still. So Seahawks, 49ers.
Give me the fucking 49ers.
Seahawks are so weird, dude. This is another one. I know the Seahawks are going to win this, but I'm taking the 49ers as well. Falcons, Broncos.
Give me the Falcons.
Yeah, they lost last week. They have to win this week if they want this division.
I agree.
Chiefs, Bills.
Give me
This is big. I said that without saying this is big.
It's going to be a battle. Potential playoff game implications. Give me the Bills. I just feel like they're playing really well.
I'm going to agree with you. A little moment of history here. Bills lose to the Chiefs in sad fashion in the playoffs. The Bills come in last year and they beat the Chiefs.
Although
in the regular season.
If you do look at it, the Bills have played some pretty bad teams really closely. And
they beat the Chiefs last year in the regular season, though.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're going to do that again and then meet their demise again in the playoffs.
The Chiefs are undefeated right now, and they can't seem they find ways to win. So,
yeah, but they haven't faced Josh Allen.
Yep, that's true.
Bengals, Chargers.
Give me the Bengals. I think the Bengals get off the schneid finally and throwing a lot more touchdowns, although I feel like this game's going to be a battle.
I would not like to get malaria. I'm going to take the Chargers. Final game of the week, Texans-Cowboys.
Give me the Texans because they're pissed.
And the Cowboys might be the worst team in the league. Just saying.
That's true.
And that's that.
Let it ride. All right.
That's
well,
that.
We appreciate you joining our group therapy session this week. Thank you. We got Bears Packers this week. Bears at home. If we're not sad now, we'll be sadder at a different
on
date.
Sunday.
So
Yeah.
Just pay attention. And of course, we thank you for being with us every week. If you haven't yet, please go and follow on any platform that you do. In fact, listen and also subscribe and download it. Be sure to hit that download button and keep us in your little pocket wherever you go. And then, of course, share it to a friend, maybe a sibling that you're close to, like either your brother or your sister from another mister or your brother from another mother. As always, it is the year of the siblings. And as always, we will see you next week.
Peace.
Talking tales with Mike and Vince. Oh, jazzy beats while we dispense. Yeah,